Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Scary TikToks that keep me up at night. The only thing that keeps me up at night is depression. I'm just playing. I'm joking. That's not funny. It's not funny.
Shocking moments caught at Target stores, part 1. In this video, a woman films herself talking to a man in a Target store. It's unclear what they are talking about, but then the woman points the camera at him and asks if he remembers talking to her before. The man instantly starts running out of the Target.
What?
Get that guy! Call the cops! Call the cops on him! Call the cops!
The woman chases him out yelling for people to stop him and call the police.
What happened?
She chases him all the way out to the parking lot, and he gets in his car and leaves. The woman said that she had seen the man in the Target before, and he had asked her super inappropriate questions that made her feel very
he's
uncomfortable.
A pervert.
What was going through my head was just I had to get his face. I had to get something on him to put him out there and catch this guy.
Scariest close calls with death. This terrifying close call was recorded on the 18th of May 2018, and it shows two cyclists entering a dark tunnel.
Why?
Everything is going fine until they come across their absolute worst nightmare. A train siren is heard from the distance approaching quickly, so the cyclists run for their life. By some miracle, the cyclists managed to escape the train with seconds to spare.
That would have been bad. Oh my god. That would have messy.
Scariest moments caught on camera PT.11.
What the fuck? Kids, don't do drugs, okay? Don't. Yeah, just don't.
Tell me what's wrong.
Bro, that's y'all live in Phoenix? Y'all live in Phoenix or LA? Those some crazy ass homeless people, bro.
What's wrong?
Y'all in the house?
Oh my god, she like throwing his hand like a I don't know how to say that. Take it up to her room.
Bro, you alright. Just buy a gun. There you go. I mean, you don't have to shoot her or anything. Just let her know you got it.
Terrifying things found deep in the woods. This footage shows two dirt bike riders riding on a remote path in the woods on the 15th of September 2017. As they ride their dirt bikes further through the woods, they then come across every dirt bike rider's worst nightmare. Tied up to trees, there was a deadly steel cable trap which they almost ran into at full speed. A steel cable trap is an extremely dangerous trap where someone ties a sharp wire around two trees that blocks the path of mountain bikers and dirt bikers. These traps could easily be fatal and seriously injure people, but thankfully they stopped just in time.
Who did it though?
Claims his psychiatrist controlled and took over his life for 30 years. This is the Shrink Next Door case. In 1981 in New York, Marty Markowitz was having a hard time. He was grieving the loss of his parents and having problems with his family business. Marty was a millionaire and financially well off, but was just really lost. He heard about a psychiatrist named Dr. Isaac Ike Hirschkopf, who was rumored to have a direct and unconventional approach with his clients. He was well known as a celebrity doctor and would flaunt his relationships with well-known people like Gwyneth Paltrow and him. Yuck. Marty...
I'm sorry. And him.
began seeing the doctor and he really helped him at first, but
She
then
could even
things
say
just
OJ,
changed.
man.
The doctor began inserting himself into Marty's life. He convinced Marty to give him control over his finances. Marty would run errands for him. The doctor alienated him from his sister, pictured here, by telling him that he couldn't trust her. It even got to the point where the doctor moved into Marty's Hamptons home and pretended it was his own. The
What
doctor
the
would
hell?
host parties there and then forced Marty to serve the guests as part of the catering staff. He essentially became the doctor's handyman and assistant while paying him. A neighbor of the Hamptons home, journalist Joe Nocera, assumed that Dr. Ike owned the home and Marty was just a groundskeeper. Joe began investigating and realized that this was one twisted ordeal. Marty said, quote, "He didn't let me have a girlfriend. I would go on a date and he'd call her a gold digger. He would say, 'Everyone is out to get you. I'm going to protect you.' And I was stupid enough to buy it." The doctor persuaded Marty to rewrite his will and leave his entire estate to him and install himself
Damn.
as the president of Markowitz's company. And this continued on for 30 years. It wasn't until 2010 when Marty went in for a medical procedure. Afterwards, he noticed that Dr. Ike didn't check on him or visit. And he finally began questioning the relationship. The doctor knew Marty truly didn't have anyone else in his life, and Marty realized that this entire relationship was a fraud. After realizing he was, quote, living a lie, Marty cut off ties with the doctor and later found out that Dr. Ike had done this to multiple other patients over the years.
Hey, teach me how to do that shit. I'll become a villain.
He was ultimately
I'll
ordered
do
to
it.
surrender his license. Marty's story became the center of podcasts and eventually was adapted into the Apple TV drama The Shrink Next Door with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. For a doctor to take advantage of someone that's coming to them for help is really disgusting. But Marty is now free of the doctor and is enjoying time with a new girlfriend. What are your thoughts on this case?
Russia found a sea monster in Antarctica. In 1974, Russian scientists at the Vostok Research Output Station discovered that there was actually a subglacial lake 2 miles beneath them, but it wasn't until 30 years later when they finally breached the ice. The first team of divers that explored the lake encountered a 33-foot long, 14-tentacle squid that released a toxin into the water.
Yeah, y'all niggas
to
dying.
immobilize
Sorry.
3 members of the expedition team,
Yeah.
eventually killing them.
Usually when people see stuff they're not supposed to see, it's raps. You're not making it out. Either one's gonna make it out, and 2 are gonna get hurt, and then the rest are gonna get killed or some shit. Watch.
They then came back with backup, and the scientists were able to then cage the creature. But when they returned to the surface, the creature, whose name is now Organism 46B, was actually seized by the Russian officials, and the team was told to keep this quiet. To this day, nobody has any idea where Organism 46B is, but rumor has it the creature is being experimented on to become a weapon for the Russian military.
Today I'm going to be talking about
Bro, I can't. This world is crazy, man. I stay in my black ass. Stay in my black ass lane right here,
the
bro.
disappearance of Evelyn Hartley. On October 23rd, 1953, Evelyn went to babysit the 20-month-old Avigo Rasmussen. Now, every time Evelyn had a babysitting job, her dad would have her call and check in. This particular night, her dad wanted her to call at 8:30 exactly. And when she didn't call, he got concerned. So he tried calling the house, and there was no response. So he waited a little bit longer, and when he still hadn't heard from her, he decided that he was going to go to the house. Now when he arrived and knocked on the door, there was no answer, despite lights being on and he could hear the radio. So he tried again, this time knocking more furiously, hoping that somebody would answer the door. But still, no answer. Concerned why his daughter would not be answering the door, he decided to try and find another way in. He checked all doors leading inside, and everything was locked, until he came across the basement window, which the screen was off and it was sitting open. So he climbed in through that way, only to notice that there had been a ladder set up against the window on the inside, so somebody could get in and out. Once inside the house, he decided to investigate. In the living room, furniture was moved around, Evelyn's books were all over the place, but still nobody was there. While investigating, he realized that every single door inside the house was locked. And thankfully, he came across the 20-month-old safely sleeping in her crib. Extremely concerned on his daughter's whereabouts, he immediately called the police. Once they arrived, they located her shoes in 2 different rooms, the broken glasses, as well as blood. Absolutely no possessions were missing. The only thing missing was Evelyn. When they did a perimeter search, they found more blood outside, as well as a bloody handprint on a nearby garage. So they brought in some bloodhounds, which traced the blood a couple blocks away. and they theorized that she had been placed into a car and driven away wherever they were taking her. A couple days later, a resident called the police and told them that they had seen a car speeding away from that area. He had seen one man in the front seat, a man in the back seat, and a girl in the back seat leaning against the window. This led to a massive search of everybody looking for Evelyn. Police started checking cars in the town. They printed out 40,000 "My Car is Okay" stickers. So once they checked somebody's backseat and trunk, they would put a sticker on their car. Several days later, various clothing items were found around the town, and some of them were covered in blood. One of the jackets that had been found, unfortunately, had Evelyn's blood type on it.
Damn.
In May of 1954, the police decided to do a mass lie detector test of high school boys to see if they could find more information on Evelyn. They planned on doing 1,750 tests, but they stopped at 300, and still had no more information on Evelyn than they did before. After his arrest, it was suspected that maybe Ed Gein had something to do with her disappearance, but he absolutely denied any involvement in it. He passed lie detector tests, and after a search of his property, he was cleared. Despite this, some people still consider him a suspect. Throughout the years, multiple people tried coming forth about her disappearance, but were all eventually cleared. After about 25 years, her parents had completely given up hope of ever finding her again. To this day, Evelyn's case still remains unsolved.
Hey, look, a pizza. You gotta let him into your house now.
So, who's letting this man in your house? Listen. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Let me give you a scenario. 3 o'clock in the morning, you see your ring light or whatever security thing you use. You see this man. What are y'all doing? That's all I'm gonna ask.
These are videos humans were never meant to see, part 1. The video that I'm about to show you shows what happens to being exposed to radiation for too long, which would then leave behind your shadow. But that's not the scary part about the video. The man who was doing the experiment in this video died 3 days after, but the scientist said it had nothing to do with the experiment, but it actually did, and he got radiation poisoning.
Oh yeah? Makes two of us. What? Oh. What the fuck? Just give me the creeps, man. What the hell? Come on, man. What is this? I'm gonna open the fridge and man, shut up. Get out of here with that shit. Go grocery shopping. I don't know if it's gonna keep me up at night or is just you know what? Honestly, it might. I'm not even gonna hold you because the crack. We're calling it the Kraken, whatever it's called.
Was told to keep.
Yeah, this motherfucker right here. Yeah, maybe that's probably the only thing. I don't know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Comment down below what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.